record. There we go. So today's date is Thursday the 21st of January 2021. We are on writing lesson 4. Please make sure that your date and your titles are both underlined with a ruler. We'll give you a few seconds to do that and then we'll move on. Now, as I can't see any of you today, we need to make sure that we're giving Mr. Williamson a thumbs up when you are ready. And Mr. Williamson, if you let us know when, that would be great.
Oh, there's more flooding in.
Yeah, we had a few in the waiting room, but they've all been let in, so we'll give them a little bit more time to get the date and the title written down.
Hello.
Good morning. So for those of you that have just joined, we are writing down today's date and title, Thursday the 21st of January 2021. And we are on writing lesson number 4, the 4th one this week. Please make sure that your date and title are underlined with a ruler. How are we looking, Mr. Williamson? Do you reckon we're ready to get going in just a second?
I think maybe 30 seconds longer.
30 seconds, excellent. While we're doing that, I've chosen the pen colour purple because today is Thursday and as we know, it's for rules. So purple Thursdays. 20 more seconds and we'll get cracking. All right, let's get going. So what we're going to do, as always, is start off with our recall symbols, reminding ourselves of all of the grammar skills that we could be using. Some of them we've used already this week, some of them we have not, but let's have a quick reminder. So as I circle them, remember, keep yourselves on mute, say it when it's been circled, and we'll have a quick explanation about each one after we've done it. So let's begin with, let's go for this one first. Hopefully you've mouthed the word prepositions, words that let us know where things are or when things happen. Let's go for this one. Those are verbs, our action words. We're going to be thinking about those today. Let's go for, let's do this one. We've got some adjectives there, words that describe things and crucial for expanded noun phrases like we've been looking at last week. We'll do 3 more. We've got our determiners, those words that introduce nouns. And remember, we're trying to get away from using the all the time, so we're going to be thinking about those today. Let's go for this one. We've got our main clause, the part of a sentence that makes sense on its own. And lastly, synonyms, all right? Thinking about up-leveling our vocabulary, finding interesting and adventurous words that mean the same as some of those simpler, plainer words. Cool. So let's have a look at what we're doing today. What are we trying to achieve? Well, our idea for today, we are going to be thinking all about actions. And hopefully, as soon as I said the word actions just then, some of you are thinking verbs. I know we're going to be thinking about verbs today because verbs are action words. So we're going to be really zooming in on the characters in our picture, and we're going to be thinking about what those characters are doing, all of those actions that we can see taking place. The grammar skill that we're going to try and use today is ly adverbs that tell us how things are being done, because adverbs and verbs, they are best buds. They love to be next to each other. Sometimes the adverb comes before the verb, sometimes the adverb comes after the verb, but adverbs and verbs get on really well together. So we're going to try and use some adverbs, ly adverbs, that tell us how those actions are being done. So we can see a direct link between these two things, all right? And the technique that we're going to be thinking about today is synonyms for verbs. We're not going to try and use boring verbs today. We're going to try and use some really adventurous verbs to make it really clear to the reader what is happening, all right? So we don't want to see words like went, because went is a verb, it's an action. However, We can do better than that. We can think about more adventurous verbs to make it really clear to the reader what is happening in this picture. So we're thinking about actions, those verbs. We're thinking about ly adverbs to describe how those things are being done. And we're going to make sure that any action word that we use is not a boring one. We're going to try and be adventurous. So let's go back to our image. Here we can see it. We've got our image that we've been focusing on all week. The writing that we've been getting from you has been so good. What we need to make sure we do is maintain that good quality standard of writing that we have got. We've described the setting, we've described the characters. So now we're going to think about not describing how the characters look, but what those characters are doing, and also how they are doing it. And that how links into those ly words. Okay, so on your boards, couple of minutes, or on your boards, we're not in school, in your books, can we make a list of as many words and phrases that we can think of to describe what those characters are doing? And those of you that are thinking, Mr. Barton, are those butterflies characters? We can absolutely include those. So we've got our gorilla and we've got the boy. So what we need to be doing is thinking about all of the things that those characters are doing. So with the gorilla, we could say walking, but I think we could make that sound a little bit more interesting. Maybe he's striding, maybe he's wandering, maybe he's edging across that log. We can think about not just the movement that the gorilla's making, we can think about the gorilla's face. He looks like he's looking ahead. But again, that's not a very interesting verb. We can do better than that. So let's see if we can list some more interesting verbs than looking. Maybe he's staring. Maybe he's gazing into the distance. Maybe he's thinking about things. What do you reckon that gorilla could be thinking about as he's walking over, or as he's traversing over that river? Maybe he's wondering about something. Maybe he's pondering something. Then we can think about the boy. Let's think about the actions that the boy is doing. We could say he's holding onto the gorilla. But again, holding, I feel like we could do better. So maybe we could say he's clutching the gorilla's fur. The gorilla's something fur, thinking about those expanded noun phrases. Maybe he's gripping tightly. Oh, ly adverb. Maybe he's clutching onto the gorilla's fur. We could say he's sat on his back, okay? We could say he's balanced on his back. He's perched on the gorilla's back. So lots and lots of actions there. And once you've got those actions, have a think about any ly adverbs that you could use to make it even clearer to the reader for how those actions are being done. I'm going to be quiet for about another 45 seconds just to give you a little bit longer to list down any words or phrases that you think you might use in your writing today. And then we'll ask Mr. Williamson to start choosing some children to share some of their ideas with us. I can see somebody's got their hand raised already. Ooh, 2 people have, okay. So words and phrases to describe any actions, what those characters are doing. How are we looking, Mr. Williamson? Do you think we need a little bit longer, or do you reckon we're good to get some feedback?
I think maybe just a little bit longer. We've got quite a few people still writing away.
Do you know what? That's absolutely fine, because that means we've got lots of ideas that we're trying to get down. And we know that the more ideas that we've got, the easier it's going to be to write our sentences. Now, we might not use all of these ideas, and that's absolutely fine, but there might be 1 or 2 or maybe a couple more that you think, actually, I reckon I can turn that into a really, really good sentence. So if you let us know when we're ready, Mr. Williamson, I'll get ready to start scribing on the board. It's really tricky with
Okay, I'll look for thumbs up or hands up, see what we're looking like. Think. Let's have a look on the other screen. Yeah, I think there's a couple of people still going, but I think the majority of us are ready.
Awesome. Right, let's click onto our ideas slide then. Mr. Williamson, could you choose anybody to give us any words or phrases that they think might be useful for today?
Yes, I'm going to go to Natalie because she's had her hand up for quite a while. So if she can unmute and give us an idea.
Slowly strolling like a lion waiting for its prey.
Oh my goodness me. Slowly strolling like and I'm going to put ... there, Natalie. And here's why I like that. We've got an adventurous verb, strolling. We've got an ly adverb. We've got a bit of alliteration going on here and a simile. What an amazing start. Tell you what, Mr. Williamson, whoever shares next is going to do well to top that one. But let's see what we've got.
So we've hit the ground running today. Let's go for, who should we have? Josh Carrick.
With the boy tightly clutching the gorilla's back, he was sauntering across the log.
I love that word, sauntering. Well done for using an adventurous verb. That is exactly what we are doing today. Sauntering is another word for walking. And you've put tightly clutching, and then you said the gorilla's back. I'm thinking, Josh, maybe if we think about that gorilla's back, we could use an expanded noun phrase to describe it. Oh, I've just realised what that arrow is pointing to, not his back. Never mind. Mr. Williamson, who's next?
Let's go for Scarlett M, please. Oh, I'm not sure we can hear you. He's unmuted, but I don't think a mic's working, so we might have to go to someone else.
No worries.
Okay. Let's go to Oscar, please.
Can we describe the gorilla if we're using him in the sentence?
Absolutely.
And my verb was glaring.
Glaring. Oh, I like that. Maybe he's glaring. Oscar, can you give us an ly word to say how he's glaring, or maybe you could think of one?
Glaring. I can't think of one.
Tell you what, I can help you out with this one. Maybe not an ly word, but maybe we could say glaring dead ahead, because we can see that the gorilla is looking that way. So maybe that could be something to add to that awesome verb, Oscar, that you might use in your writing today. Thank you so much for sharing. Good stuff. Who's next, Mr. Williamson?
Let's go for Layla, please.
Daydreaming into the sunlit distance.
Oh, I love that. Daydreaming. Thinking about the internal thoughts of that gorilla, and we're going to think about that tomorrow. And I like the way you put sunlit distance as well. Sunlit distance. Awesome. Mr. Williamson, I reckon we've got space for about 3 more, if that's all right.
3 more, yeah. Let's have a look who we've got. Let's go for Oswin, please.
Oh, could you repeat that, Oswin? Your mic went a bit funny there.
Sprinted quickly.
Was that sprinted quickly, Mr. Williamson?
I'm not sure. I couldn't quite hear either.
I'm going to write that down anyway. Sprinted quickly, because I like the way that we've got an interesting verb and then an adverb, quickly, to describe how it's being done. Maybe that gorilla is urgently trying to get... Oh, urgently. Writing that down. Who's next, Mr. Williamson?
Let's go for Bo, please.
Walking bravely.
Walking bravely. We like that. He does look like he's very brave. That protective gorilla walking bravely. And then we can carry that sentence on by maybe saying where they're going or why they are going there. We've got space. Oh, I reckon we can squeeze in one more, Mr. Williamson.
1 more. Let's try for a best one. Who are we going to go for? Let's try Esme Gorilla, please.
Sprinted in the distance.
Sprinted in the distance. Maybe we could change that slightly, Esme, and go sprinted either in the distance or towards the distance. If we're trying to think about a different preposition, towards the distance. Oh, just about enough space. Awesome ideas, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. It's really, really good to see, but we're thinking really carefully about those skills that we mentioned earlier on. I love all of these ideas.